Charlie Bonnick here with UCCS Athletics, here with head coach Chrissy Elder of the UCCS volleyball team. Now, coach, last weekend you guys went to Western State and Colorado Mesa, went 1-1 on the weekend, unfortunately losing to Western State but beating Colorado Mesa. First off, taking a look at that game of Western State, you guys lost in 4 but had a really good second set. Really, what happened in that match?
I think we just lost sight of competing. Western did a really, really good job of speeding up their offense and kind of taking us out of our normal offense, and I think we just kind of lost sight at the execution part.
And serving errors was a big factor on that one. You guys had 10 on that night. So really, what have you guys been working on to improve that?
The serving errors themselves aren't necessarily bad. The fact that we weren't being aggressive with them, I think, was. So if we wound up with a few aces out of those, those aggressive serving mistakes, that would be great, but we didn't. Whereas the next night we did, and I think that really helped us.
And then the next night, like you said, you guys beat Colorado Mesa in 5. That has not happened since 2007 at Grand Junction. So really, how big was that win for you guys?
That's a huge win for us, especially in region. The fact that we beat such a great region team and competed so well, I think really kind of puts a stamp on where we're at the end of the year.
And just looking at that Western State game and then Colorado Mesa, what really changed?
The competitiveness, absolutely. We went from just kind of existing and being okay with that to the drive to execute and the drive to win. So I think that really showed when it came down to it. We wanted to win just a little bit more than they did, and it was a really good match.
And now this weekend you guys are going to Black Hill State and South Dakota Mines. Currently you guys hold your own destiny, could host a playoff game. So is there any more pressure on this weekend?
I think it's good pressure. There is some pressure, but it kind of puts us where we need to be. And if we can handle the pressure, I think that's really good going into the conference tournament. And if we can't, then I think it gives us a little bit of room to grow still. So I think either way, it's a win-win, and I really think that they're ready to handle that pressure.
And just looking at this week, what have you guys really been focusing on practice? I know we always talk about situational stuff, but what has been the main factor in practice this week?
Competing, absolutely. We're at a point now where they have to be okay with learning new things and getting pushed in a little bit different ways, because we're kind of moving past the young part of our team. Going into a more mature part of our team. So they're getting pushed in much different ways than before, and them accepting it, I think, is the biggest challenge.
And just looking first at that Black Hill State game, you guys already played them in Gallagher Event Center, went to 5. So really, are you expecting another competitive game? What's going to be the X factor for that night?
Black Hills in Spearfish is always going to be a competitive game. They fight really hard when they're at home. So given the fact that they fought really hard when they were here, I expect it to be a competitive game for sure.
And then South Dakota Mines, not the best record in the RMAC, but really still a competitive team. You guys did beat them in 3, getting that sweep. But what is the factor for that one and really not giving an inch for that game?
It's their senior night. And, any place you go into that has a senior night while you're there, they're going to be emotional, and they're going to be playing to win for their seniors. And the best person that you can play to win for is your team. So it'll still be challenging for us. They're going to want to win for their seniors on Saturday night.
And with regional rankings still coming out and the RMAC playoff race being so close, as could lose one game and go down to 8th. Really, how important is that, and how crazy has this RMAC regular season been?
It's so competitive in the top half of our conference. That's not even fair. It's so competitive in the whole conference. Even the teams that don't necessarily have great records are still extremely good teams. So, it is what it is when you regionalize. And hopefully we can do our jobs to win the next 2 games and maybe even a couple in this tournament and bump into the region for sure.
And just looking at a little bit more of playoffs, if you guys do host a playoff first-round tournament, how big would that be, and how much more momentum would you guys have?
Since I've been here, we've not hosted a playoff game. So that's the next step for us. We go from getting in and doing pretty well to hosting on Tuesday night, and then we just keep plugging away from there.
Well, there you have it. Head coach Chirssy Elder of the UCCS volleyball team taking on Black Hills State and then South Dakota Mines this weekend. Coach, good luck.
Thanks, Charlie.